Welcome to day 29 of How to Automate Your Law Firm in 90 Days. I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. This is part 1.5, not necessarily part 2. I want to prepare for the email agent by creating an automation for the email inbox. So, again, this is not going to be a part of the legal assistant agent. It's a standalone that is in preparation for the email agent we will be creating. Let's dive in. Let's get started. I want to do a demonstration first just to give you a little taste of the magic. Then I will dive in and explain everything that is going on, and I will follow it up with more use case demonstrations. So I have two different email boxes open. Here is the one where we will be sending the emails. This is one thing that I would mention. I will mention. I went in and what I did was create labels for the different emails that come in. In that way, we are able to label them so that the attorney can quickly see what type of email it is. We have billing and invoices, client support, contracts and agreements, court filings and notices, evidence and discovery, high priority, internal communications, miscellaneous, urgent. You can have as many or not as many labels as you would like. What it really comes down to is you streamlining your process so that you can make your email communications, because we all know it can get kind of crazy. You want to make it as efficient as possible and being able to address those high pressing items as well. We also have another email, and here are some of the emails that I will be using as an example. So let me get started. The first one that I want to show is being able to send an email, it get labeled, and then receiving a message in Slack. And one of the things that I did show in the legal assistant agent intro was being able to give a voice message and also a text message using Telegram. Okay, so let's get started. Let's look at this one. Okay, this email is for court filings. This is dummy information, all fictitious, and we are sending it to Tanya Willis, who is our fictitious lawyer at ABC Law Firm. So I am going to send this one off, and it's saying you don't have anything attached. Yes, I do want to go ahead and send it off. Okay. We're going to come to our email. We haven't received it yet. Let me refresh it. Here it is. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my agent. And again, I'm just going to show you a little bit of the magic, and then I will show you and explain everything that is going on. And then we will look at some other use cases as well. Let me go in because I need to unpin it to make sure it gets the correct email. I'm going to test my workflow. So now one thing that I will say, you see it says court filing confirmation and upcoming hearing notice. I do have a court filings and notice label. Let's see what'll happen. This is where it should go to. It should route to this third line right here. Let's see. And it did. And also, I received a Telegram message. Okay. Here, court filing and court notice email sender, Queen Makita. Court filing and notice email subject is telling what the case is about. And also, it gives a summary of what this email was about. And this is good for attorneys just because the daily hustle and bustle, you don't always have time to look at your emails. It would be good to just be able to get a summary on either while you're on your laptop or on your phone, and quick summary and see what you need to do and if you need to respond. So that is just one demonstration of a type of email. So now let me go under the hood. What I did was create what I call an email inbox agent in N8N. It is a great platform because you're able to create automations as well as AI agents. In some of my previous videos, I've created automations using make.com. You know, I love make.com. I for real love N8N because of the power of the AI agent. And it may be apples to apples, but in me, creating automations in both platforms, I really like N8N. So here is my trigger. And one of the things that I mentioned, and let me zoom in so we can see it a little bit. Okay. What I mentioned is whenever you have an automation, you have a trigger. That is the party starter. Nothing happens without the trigger. So the trigger is an email comes in. Now, yes, we're using Gmail, but we could possibly use other email like Microsoft and all of that as well. I'll be honest, I didn't see if they had Microsoft as one of the options for emails. But if you're able to have a webhook, we can make things happen. Okay, so once the email comes in, what I did was attach it to what is called a text classifier. And I'm going to click into that. So with the text classifier, all I'm doing is saying, I want you to look at this text, and what I want you to do is I want you to be able to separate it in different categories. Now, if you notice right here, it says text to classify. I'm not classifying the subject. What I am doing is telling it to read into the email, and from that, decide on what label we should give the email. We have client support, and these are the same ones that we have over here. Down here, they are the same ones. All that I'm doing is giving it, and I'll open up a few so that you can see the description. Like, for instance, client support, correspondence from clients regarding case updates, questions, concerns, or service requests. This includes follow ups, status updates, and general client inquiries requiring a response. I also gave it keywords just to kind of help it to see, oh, if I see this keyword, then I know this is the type of email that the type of label I should give it. Now, is it always going to be perfect? I'm going to say no, because we're using technology, and most of the time it'll get it, but if it can't decide, it may use one other than the other. But being able to streamline it and at least get 95% of the labels and the messages is great. Okay. And I can let you read in all of the descriptions, every single label, it has a description so that we'll know it can help the text classifier know how it needs to label that email. Okay. And I'm just going to scroll down a little bit so that you can see. Now, you see all of this information. No, I did not create that. The great thing about N8N is it is a no code platform. Uh, you can use low code, but starting out, you can create powerful agents, powerful automations without using code. Okay. So here are all my categories that I have to help, again, the text classifier. Here is my system prompt. Please classify the text provided by the user into one of the following categories. Okay. And the category you see right here, those are the different categories it knows as we have at the labels that we have in our Gmail account. And use the provided formatting instructions below. Don't explain and only output the JSON. So that is my text classifier. Again, if you're looking and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a lot of information, the magic of N8N. The magic of N8N. All I did was literally um, get the text classifier. I created all of the different labels and the descriptions. The descriptions that I came up with, and let me click on it again. The descriptions that I came up with, the different categories, I used ChatGPT saying, I want to categorize an email as client support. Can you give me a description and keywords? That's what I did for every one of them so that I wouldn't have to think about it. All I would need to do is just type in a prompt so that ChatGPT could help me. Now, in order for the text classifier to work, I did have to attach Open AI, and all of these are connected using using a credential. It's an API, okay? And the model is GPT 4.0, and here is the message right here is just basically the message that the text classifier sent it, and it's looking to see which one, based on the description and the keywords, how it should label it. Okay. So that's the text classifier. Let me zoom out a little bit. Now, once I created all of the different categories, and again, there are a lot of categories, just because I like to be thorough. But again, you choose as the law firm or the attorney what you, how many you would like, and what you know would be a good amount of categories to help streamline the process. So let's start with client support. All of these, the first one, all it's doing basically is it's labeling the different text. It's labeling it as client support. That's all this does, is it labels the message. Okay. So all I did was create one, and I just duplicated it for all of these, for all my different categories, just to start off with. Okay. So once you create one and you are able to get the information you need for this one, what I needed to get was the JSON ID, which I did. And all you need is the JSON ID for each one. All I did, the only thing I did differently is when I went to, like, for instance, I named it, I went in and I named it contracts and agreements. Okay. And then I went to the drop down, and these are all the different categories you can name a message. I went in and I clicked on contracts and agreements, done deal. Okay. Once I did that, and you notice though there are different endings, I'll go over those, but the ones that are similar, I'll point them out so that it's basically the same for each one. Once I labeled the client support, and this goes for client support, contracts and agreements, high priority, and also urgent. Let me see. Yes, those are the four I think I counted. Client support, contracts and agreements, high priority, and urgent. What I'm doing for these is I'm having it go into GPT 4.0 mini, and what I'm having it do is process it so that it can create a draft email. Okay, again, helping to automate the process as much as possible. So here it says you are an executive legal assistant. Your job is to respond to contract and agreement. And I need to change this. And you see, I did copy and paste it. I'm glad I caught it. Client support emails as accurately as you can. Here is the email you are responding to, and the information right here was from the JSON text that I pulled in. And let me see. I'm going to go down to court filings so that you can see it. And we're not going to go to. I'm not going to talk about Telegram yet. I just want to see, let you see the information that was pulled. If you're when you're looking on the side and you're looking at the JSON, close the headers because it's a lot of information and it can get confusing. So this is the text that I pulled from the other one. And from that text, what I'm telling it is you are a legal assistant, and what I want you to do is create a draft. Okay. So then here is the create a draft node, and the nodes are the little icons that you see. N8N calls them nodes. What I did was I put in the subject, dragged the subject, and also the message so that it can send a draft email. And I believe, and I want to show you an example. So I believe in here I have a client support email. I do. Now, you notice here it says urgent. Let's read the email. Dear Miss Willis, I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out to request an update on my case number 52-9876, as I have not received any recent communication. Could you please provide the latest status and any next steps? Additionally, I would appreciate any guidance. Best regards, Victor Adams. It has a again, this is all fictitious. That is why instead of pulling the subject, and excuse my voice, I'm a little under the weather. Instead of pulling the subject, I'm having it look at the text. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Adams' email isn't urgent, but urgent really is subjective based on somebody's personal experience. But with the amount of communication that attorneys get, you want to make sure that, yes, this will be addressed. However, those things that are urgent, we need to, we want to make sure that we address them. So what we're going to do is we are going to send this one off. This will be considered a client support email. So I'm going to send this one off. We'll give it a few minutes for it to arrive. Okay, here it is. So now what I'm going to do is go back to N8N and I'm going to test the workflow. And it should go to, since it's client support, it should go to this first branch. And you see it did. So now let's go back. Let's refresh and it should be labeled client support. Here you see it is labeled client support. And also I should be able to go in my drafts, and here is the response to Mr. Adams. Okay. Now, thank you for your email. I hope this email finds you well. I want to inform you I'm currently looking into the status of your case. It has the case number. I understand that you have not received any recent communications, and I will ensure you that you are updated as soon as possible. Okay? And it's responding to the email that was sent. Now, your contact information, I just need to change something so that it doesn't have that I put in my contact information, but that's small. Now, you may be asking, well, why didn't you just send this off? That is a good question. And here is one of the reasons. Here is a reason why. You saw that it had your contact information. We are still dealing with agents. And yes, this is magic. And it was a very quick response. All the attorney or lawyer would have to do is look at it right quick, change whatever needs to be changed, and hit put in Mr. Adams' email and send it off. Okay, as opposed to just sending it off, because again, we're still working with agents and there should always be a human element involved. You should always just take a look, make sure everything is good, not quickly, especially if you're sending it to a client or you're sending it out to social media or any public facing type platform. You want to make sure that you are taking a look first, checking, making sure it's okay, and then you can post, send, or do whatever, as opposed to just immediately sending it. There are people that just send it, and yes, you do have the capability of just sending an email, but when you're sending it to someone, it's again better to review it first to make sure that the brand you are and the company you're building, that it is presented as professional. If you sent that in and said your contact information at the bottom, then it knows it's not, personalized. So off my soapbox, that's that. Okay, so there's a draft. We saw that automation worked great. Okay, and as I mentioned, this automation is the same for contracts and agreements, high priority, and also urgent. Okay, I think I have one. Oh, I do have one for contracts and agreements, and then I'll send that off. And then this email is an urgent one, and then um, I'll talk about that before I send the email off. So let's look at review and signature required. This is for contracts and agreements. I'm going to send it off as saying that please finally attach Henry contract for your review. The other party has requested that we finalize and sign the agreement by February 24th. Great. Okay. So I'm going to send it off. And yes, it is going to pop up because I have please find attached. It's going to say, are you sure you want to send it? You don't have anything attached. I know, I'm sorry. Yes, I do. Okay. Let me exit out of this one. Let me go back. Refresh it to see if the other email has came in. And do you see how just the possibility of streamlining and organizing your emails? Amazing. Okay, so yes, it has came in. Let's go back to N8N. And since it's contracts and agreements, it should go to this second branch. So let's take a look. It did go to the second branch. Okay, let's look over here. We'll refresh it to see if it did label it. Yes, it did. And also we can look, and if you see right here, as it's doing it, it's organizing it in the different categories, which is pretty cool as well. Let's look at our drafts. And here's the Henry contract review. Dear Daphne Davis, thank you for the email and for sharing the Henry contract for my review, etc., etc. Best regards, Tanya Willis. So yes, this automation is working. Now, what I want to do is I am going to go back and I want to explain court filings and notices, evidence and discovery, urgent, and also internal communications. And I'm going to explain urgent first, and then I'll explain the other three. Let me zoom out some. So with urgent, if there's anything that is in the email body, it's saying it's urgent, immediate assistance, or something like that. Not only do we want to have a draft ready because we need to respond to it, also we want to have a message telling us on Telegram there's something that is urgent that needs my attention. Because again, I know attorneys don't have, they're so busy that they don't have enough time to always check their emails. How great is it that there's an AI automation that can be created where on your phone you are able to see what's going on and also read it while you are away and get a summary as well. So we are going to use our urgent email. Again, this is the label. We have, why do I have create draft here? Oh, okay. I was like, why does that create draft? That doesn't belong there. Let me just put it over here. Here we go. Here is the label, add label messages. Then it's going to go to the draft like we were doing before. It's going to create that draft, and also it's going to send a Telegram message. So let me open up my phone because I want you to see it. It's the same thing. And if you've ever used Telegram, and if there's another type of application you would rather use other than Telegram, maybe WhatsApp, or I'm not sure of what else is out there. I do like Telegram. I've used it because you're able to have it on your desktop and your phone as well. Then you can use that one, and you can put it in the comments. You'd be like, Shay, Telegram is great, but this is better, and that would be great. I don't know if you can see here, and I know it's very small. Here is the summary of the court filing that we went over. But now let me go over to the drafts that we have, and we are going to shoot off the urgent email. Dear Ms. Willis, I need your immediate assistance regarding a contract dispute filing for my case XYZ Corporation. I received a court summons and notice of hearing, and we have a deadline of February 19, 2025 at 5 p.m. to respond. Please advise on the next steps, okay? I appreciate your prompt attention to this matter. Samuel Justly. Okay, so let's send this one off. We're going to go back to our email address. Let's see if it's been sent yet. Here we go. So now I'm going to go back to N8N. Now, this is something before I continue, because I keep hitting test workflow. Yes, you have an opportunity to, hold on, it's not in this one. Let me go back. Here it is in the Gmail trigger. So let's, before I go and do the test workflow, I do want to talk about the Gmail trigger because I am using the test workflow, and no, that's not how you always have to look and see if there are emails that need to be addressed. Here again, it says credential to contact. You use your API. I do want to mention that I'm on N8N cloud as opposed to self-hosting, because it works good with Telegram, WhatsApp, but also, oh yeah, that's the reason. My apologies, because it works well with Telegram and WhatsApp. You can't use it with self-hosting because I do use N8N self-host. Where local, I have it on my computer, but for these type of automations, I do have to use the cloud. Okay. Now, poll times, what poll times means is it's going to go check the email to see if there are any new emails. Okay. And I know that I'm doing them one by one, but it has to, it is able to grab more than that. It's just I'm testing it and creating a video. Now, what is the polling time? You have the opportunity to do every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month. But I have custom every minute, and it depends on the emails that the amount of emails that you send. But you would be using a lot of automation or instances for if you do it every minute. Okay, that if you poll every minute, how many ever minutes it is in a day, then that's how many times it'll check. And you don't want it to poll that many. You don't want it to poll that many times. So what you're able to do is what's called cron expression. And what the cron expression does is you have an opportunity to tell it how many times you want it to poll your email address to check for new emails. Okay. And let me go to N8N cron expression. Okay. So here are the cron expressions. You can do it like, for instance, every 10 seconds. And it shows you the expression to use, like star forward slash 10, 5 stars. That means every 10 seconds. Star forward slash 5, 4 stars. That means every 5 minutes. So going back, what I have is a star forward slash 15 and 4 stars. I'm having it to poll every 15 minutes. Okay. If that's just too soon, then you could do every 30 minutes, but every minute is just, that would be just too much. And I think it wouldn't be good utilization of your time and your money with you having your email polled every minute. Okay. So now we can do a test workflow just as a reminder. And this isn't anything. I'm going to put this over here. It was a duplicate, but with all of the different notes that I have, I overlooked it. I'm glad it caught my attention. I don't want to delete it yet because I'm not sure of if it goes to something and then I have to add it again. Okay. We shot off, just as a reminder, the urgent email. There's a contract dispute filing Miss Willis needs to take care of. So when the test work, whenever the trigger polls the email, it should go to urgent. Okay. And for urgent, and what you may ask yourself, what's the difference between urgent and high priority? In my text classifier, for high priority, it is things that need to be reviewed and addressed as soon as possible within 24 to 48 hours. So you have, a day or two, but for urgent, oh, description. For urgent, we have critical and time sensitive emails that require immediate action. They may include last minute court filings, emergency client matters, or pressing legal issues that cannot be delayed. Okay. That is the difference between urgent and high priority. And for the urgent ones, I do not only want it to create a draft, but also send a telegram message. So let's test our workflow. And it should go down here to urgent. And it went to court filings. Oh, no, it didn't. My apologies. Here it goes. Here you see it's going to say urgent. Oh, it put it as urgent and court filings. Okay. Pretty good. It also, and let me go to my Telegram. Here is showing the urgent, immediate action required, the contract dispute, the filing for Samuel Justly, and it's saying urgent email was from Queen Makita. We have created a draft with the subject urgent immediate action required contract dispute filing. So now, which is good because which is surprising, I thought it would just go to urgent, but because it saw that there was something that needed to be filed in court, it also labeled it as court filings and notices as well. Very good. So here we can go to our drafts and we see urgent assistance required for a contract dispute filing. Dear Mr. Justly, thank you for your email. I have received your request regarding the contract dispute filing against XYZ Corporation and understand the urgency of the situation. Very good. Very good. And here it's showing I recommend the following steps: review the court summons and notice, gather documentation, gather documentation, draft a response. We will need to draft a formal response to the summons. I can assist you with this process. Schedule a call. So here is the draft for an urgent email. Okay, so going back to our email inbox agent, we have covered client support, because we've covered what labeling is first. We've covered also being able to create a draft with client support, course and agreements. Um, and I'm trying to, I'm looking high priority. We didn't go over high priority, but it's the same as the client support and the contracts and agreements. And also for urgent, we were able to see that not only a draft was created, also a telegram message as well. We also saw how court filings, with the labeling of court filings, that not only does it it creates a summary of the message and it sends a telegram for the attorney to see just a summary of what email was sent. That is the same that would happen with evidence and discovery, and also internal communications. For the miscellaneous, so we've covered all of these. The only ones we haven't covered are billing and notice and billing and invoice, which we are going to do now, and miscellaneous. So I'll address miscellaneous first. Miscellaneous are those emails that not that they're unimportant, but they don't need your attention. Okay, like those ones you get from social media, promotions, things of that nature. We still want to be able to label them because it's great to go in and go into your inbox and immediately see what type of email it is. If it's something that, I don't need to address, it's not something I need to pay attention to right now, then it'll go into the miscellaneous file. And again, also you notice that the emails are not only in the inbox, they are in the different folders for the labels as well. Okay, so now that we've addressed those, let's go back, and the last one we will take a look at is billing and invoice. So the billing and invoice is just a label. That's what that first node is. The second one, let's click into it. What I am doing is I am sending a message. Okay, who am I sending a message to? I am going to send it to our accounting department. So, and it's going to be immediately forwarded. Okay. It's going to, if I receive any type of billing or invoice email, it's going to immediately go to the accounting department, forward it to them, so that, again, I don't have to address it. I don't have to take the time to look at the email and forward it. It will automatically forward it to the accounting department. Now, this isn't a real email, but are we able to check it? Yes, because it will be in our draft. So let's go back and send off our last email here. Dear John Doe. You see it's an invoice. I created a fictitious email. Had ChatGPT help me to create a fictitious invoice. You see, it's $2,600, and in the email it says $2,600. So matches apples to apples. Let's send it off and let's look at the magic. Okay, I am going back to my email, giving it a few minutes to come through. Here we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run test workflow to see if it goes to billing an invoice, and if it sends off an email to accounting at ABC Law Firm, which is fictitious. Test workflow. Yes, it went to billing an invoice. So here, when I refresh it, you see it should give a label of billing and invoice. It did. And also here in my sent folder, here is the invoice that's automatically forwarded to accounting at ABC Law Firm. And again, this was part 1.5. Okay, I see that I don't need this, so let me go ahead and delete it. I didn't want to delete it just to make sure I had everything in place. Whew, I did, okay. I'm calling it part 1.5, but it's actually a standalone AI automation that you are able to use for your attorneys, where you're able to label as many or not as many different types or categories of emails, being able to use ChatGPT. And I used OpenAI, but you could use Claude, you could use DeepSeek, you could use Gemini, just as I use OpenAI. I'm just used to using OpenAI, but N8N does have those LLMs as well to be able to create drafts, also send give summaries to send to the Telegram. Amazing. Hope you have enjoyed this demonstration. If you have any questions about AI agents, AI automations, N8N, I will have a link in the description box where you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation. I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. Have a great day.